So I was running at probably like 195 for the past year or so. And even still, like after that ultra that I did a couple weeks ago was over, I was like, boom, I wasn't eating as much. I wasn't eating as many carbs, and I was up in my proteins, up in my fats a little bit. And I just feel like I feel really like a lot leaner. I feel sharper. I feel like I have more energy. Do you think there's a benefit to like almost like periodizing your nutrition, like just like having like some sort of off season? Like obviously like eating for performance versus eating for general health is a little bit different there, but I've kind of been eating the same way for the past year, which is like a lot of food. I'm a bigger guy, just making sure I'm well fueled versus now eating at a slight deficit, eating more fats, more protein, a little less carbs. Is there a benefit to like getting your body better at like burning fat for fuel versus always just like relying on a ton of carbs and having a high caloric intake?
I think that there's a benefit. You're really consuming less calories, like long term, is probably more beneficial for your body, right? Because people who have a lower body weight in general tend to live longer, right? So if we're looking from a metabolic application, like eating a whole bunch of carbohydrates all the time is probably not the most effective. But I think that as a society, we get caught too far in the extremes of everything, right? Like I think Eliud Kipchoge, the world marathon record holder and best to ever do it, frankly, his diet's about 70% carbohydrates, right? But then a guy that you just had on the show, and I apologize, 'cause I don't remember his name, eats like effectively no carbohydrates, right? And he has success at what he does. Kipchoge has success at what he does, but it all depends on a lot of things. So I think like maybe not so much periodizing it, but through trial and error, finding out what is right for you is probably the best way to go. Although my scope on nutrition is pretty limited. The advice that I would give everybody is 80% of the time, try to make really good decisions, and the other 20% of the time, like have some fun. And that typically tends to work out. I don't really eat a certain way to try to achieve anything. I just try to make sure that I'm eating enough quality food, enough fiber, which some people would argue, but I think like very little things in nutrition are solidified. But the reality is that fiber is one of the true things that are proven by science to be really important for our body and for our health. So, I try to make sure I'm getting adequate fiber intake, like micronutrient, macronutrient, just loosely hitting my goals, and then otherwise like just living room to live my life. And I think that's the best way I can do it. I think too often we get caught in the extremes. So I'm not saying you should periodize and sometimes eat lower carbohydrates and sometimes eat higher. I think you should find something that works for you consistently and do that.